starting book number 14. I didn't feel like I was ready to start book number 14 because I haven't even been over it a second time and edited it or anything. But I have some family members that I desperately want to get this out to because they are really into these books. And so I'm going to go ahead and start recording book number 14. And I'm going to begin with keeping tabs just to remind you how old everybody is, how old we're all getting. And so the West Coast family, Eric Kino, he turned 70 last June 14th. Shelley turned 65. Little Manny, Noah, Angelina, Abraham, and Nate are two and a half, really, and there'll be 3 in May, all of them, different days in May. And Ricky Kino's family, Ricky turned 52 last May, so he'll be 53 this May. And Bree turned 49 last August, so she'll be 50 this year. Eric III turned 21 in December, and Taylor turned 17 last August. And Amari Meeks is 9, and Brittany Meeks is 5. The Mark Adams family, Mark is 40, Bella is 39, JoJo is 21, and Logan is 20, and little M turned 4 in December. And they have a baby due in May. I think it's May. The Joey Adams family, Joey's 38, Breeze is 35, Sophia is 7, Kelston just turned 4 in December, and Ledger turned 3 in November, last November. The Wallace family, Jeffy, Juneflower, is about to be 29 on March 15th, and Cam was 30 last July, and little Elijah is 2 months old, born on November 9th. The Lee families, Justin Lee will be 67, and Lori will be 53 in April. Jason Lee will be 59 in April, and Angel Lee will be 56 coming May. Jensen Deal is 30. Kimberly Lee Deal will be 27 in February. And little Jason Jensen, whom they call Jay, is 6 weeks. He was born November 26. The Davis family, Jeff Davis is 44, Mickey Davis is 43, Daniel is about to be 13 on January 8th, very soon, because that's the day that this was written. And Jeremy will be 12, January 10th. And Scarlett was is 6 weeks old, and she is born November 24th. The Brooks family, formerly the Perez family. Jewel Brooks will be 43. On July 19th, Jordan will be 20 on July 18th. So we got several months to go before they have their birthdays. Josie will be 11 in February, coming up very soon. And Jamie Brooks will be 9 in April. The Morgan family, if you'll remember, Alec Morgan is 18 and little Destiny Morgan is 17. She's about to have a baby any day. The Keith family, David Keith is 45, Carol Keith is 40, Melody will be 19 in April. Philip Keith is 17, and Lyle Keith is 15. Or no, Philip Keith will be 17 on March 3rd, and Lyle Keith will be 15 in May. Ronald Clark's family, Ronnie's 92. Connie is deceased. Ronald Clark Jr. is deceased. Linda Clark is 66. And Linda's son Franklin is deceased, but she has grandchildren. Carson turned 15 last July, and Sydney turned 11. She turned 11 last October. Ronnie has an older brother, Marcel Clark. He's also deceased, and he never married and has no children. And Ronnie has younger sisters, Donna and Margaret, who are deceased. We'll talk about their families later. Quinn family. Alo Quinn is 83. Danny Quinn is 75. Raylyn will be 21 in March, and Kaylee will be 19 in February. Let's go to the East Coast family. The Coleys. They're in New York on the East Coast. You remember Chris Coley was the agent who was shot when Jeffy was in Africa. He was driving the Jeep. So Agent Coley met Marissa Daly, and they got married. And Agent Coley is 30, and Marissa is 29. And they had a little baby boy named Christian, and he's 6 weeks old. He was born November 25th, the day after their cousin Scarlett. The Nash family, Toby's 56, Caro is 54, Gracie Nash is going to be 26 in February, and Brody is 22. The Stewart family, Chaz is 49, Lisa is 46, Charlie is about to be 15 in February, Matt is about to be 13 in January, Erilyn will be 8 in February, and little Jonathan Jones and Lachlan Bright are 2 months old. They were born November 1st. Maddie Lewis, Lisa's grandmother, was 87 when she left this world this past June 18th. John Apple is 51. Jody Apple will be 49 on February 14th, on Valentine's Day. And Hannah Brown is 13. Jacob Apple will be 22 on February 28th. And Melena Stewart Apple was 21 on November 22nd. Still waiting for her sweetie to come home. Keegan will be 50 in February. Lizzie is 42. Heather will be 25 January 10th. Rose and Violet just turned 24 on Christmas Day. Daisy and Lily just turned 24 a week before Christmas. Of course, Gabe turned 18 last June. And Iris turned 3 on December 10th. And Isaiah and Gentian are 6 weeks old, and they were born November 25th. There's a Tennessee rancher named Nolan Sawyer who's 28 on April 26th. He's Heather's fiance. And there's a Meritech agent named C.J. Blackman. He was 28 in May. He's Violet's boyfriend. The Murphy family, Rebecca Murphy is 36. She's the director of education at the Gabe Tanner Community Center. Peyton Murphy turned 18 last July. Lucas Murphy turns 15 in January. Actually, tomorrow, as far as this book is concerned, because it's January 9th. And Atlanta assistant agent in charge, Andrew Dalton, will be 39 on January 5th. There are firefighters, special operations. Jericho Jones is 28. Jimmy Calloway is 28. Max Hooks 27. Michael Ferguson is 26. Luke Jackson is 29. And Jalen Shipley is 23. Also, don't forget Agent 8 Harkins, who's the senior AIC in Texas. He turned 31 on November 12th. Then I have a list of a bunch of other characters, which we're not going to go into right now. I also have, in this book, I have a list of the bad guys in the entire series. I think I'll just go over their names real quick and see if you can remember who they are. James Crane, George Mancini, Marcus Winstead, Andrea Winstead, Tommy Crane, Senator Hartman, Anthony Salados, somebody whose first name is Hunter. I have to find out. I can't remember his name. Senator Daley, Kurt Wells, Gordon Landau, Julian Blackman, Marilyn Monroe, Mia Casellas, Mike Moreland, Brett Adderman, Mason Cole, Garrett Clark, Cade Kessler, Carl Dietz, and Benoit Cruz. Okay. Next, I have listed in this book the actual Ameritech security hierarchy, beginning with Chief Director Jason Lee and Deputy Chief Director Joseph Adams. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but we'll just know that the Eastern Division is run by Keegan Tanner and the Western Division is run by Jefferson Davis. Okay. Then I have a list of the 12 people, which we're not going to go into right now because that's what this book is all about. This is D&D, excuse me, D&D number 14, Such a Time as This, in Jesus' name. Chapter 1. It is January 8th. It is Wednesday evening. We are at the Hopewood Chapel, Church of Christ. Taylor smiled as Agent Wyatt pulled into the freshly painted parking lot next to the church. It was clean. The layout was much more organized thanks to her brother. The lot looked so much better. It had new lampposts with pretty lights. The landscaping hadn't been put in yet, but that wouldn't happen for a few months. Still, it was very nice now, except for the construction on the other side. Just this week, the designers and construction crews had swooped in and begun the demolition of parts of the motel so they could build a youth center for the church, which would include a large gym that would double as an auditorium. Right now, there was orange construction netting surrounding the old motel area. Excuse me. I cannot wait to see how that turns out, Taylor said as she nodded toward the old motel. Agent Wyatt glanced up at the place. I have no doubt that it's going to be amazing. He smiled at her as she took a huge bite of her sandwich. We're a little early, Taylor. You can slow down and take time to eat. You'll make yourself sick. She giggled and drew a deep breath and chewed slowly. So, Agent Wyatt, who's watching over Jordan now? Agent Kim. Taylor frowned. I don't think I know him. Yu-Joon Kim. He goes by June. He just came to the States from South Korea. He's actually a cousin of Director Lee. June, like my aunt? Well, yes, except it's spelled Joon. So he's a new agent? Nope. He's been with Ameritech's Korean division for 5 years. Director Lee made him a promise to bring him to America if he served for 5 years. 5 years in Korea, so he made good on his promise. June is learning the ropes here in the States. Does he speak English? Oh, he speaks it well. Jordan didn't say anything to me. That's strange. Well, he only met with her this morning. School doesn't start back for another week, but Jordan's practice started Monday, and Agent Ward was with her Monday and Tuesday, and he turned her over this morning to Agent Kim. So he's there to accompany her from her apartment to practice and back. Not too heavy of an assignment, especially because your brother's been with them most of the time. It'll be a little more involved when school starts back in a few weeks. Taylor smiled as she pulled out a stem of grapes. You want some? He shook his head. Nope. I'm going to go grab dinner with a friend after I walk you into the church. A friend, huh? He smiled. For now. Who is it? Nanya. Taylor sighed. He eyed her. Are you tired? Yes, and I have a bunch of homework, and my dance teacher, Miss Janine, wore me out at class today. Well, maybe you should have gone home after dance. She shook her head. No, there are people depending on me being here at the first youth meeting for the church, and I have to think of them and not how tired I am. Wyatt nodded in understanding because he knew that was how the Kinos rolled. Taylor packed up her food bag and grabbed her backpack and dance bag. Wyatt went around to open her door for her. Let me take your bags. She allowed it, and they walked slowly from the lot to the church. Taylor gazed up at the building. It looked a lot different from the first time she'd seen it. It was now clean and landscaped and had beautiful white ramps lit with gorgeous, old-fashioned looking solar lamps. The 2 giant Christmas trees had been taken down now and replaced with large pots filled with greenery and flowers. It was lovely. She just started up the steps but stopped when she heard her new friend, Mika, arguing or yelling at someone. Taylor glanced at Agent Wyatt and then turned and went back down the steps and over to look down along the drive that led to the apartments on the right side of the church. Mika was talking to a guy, a cute guy with brown and blonde curls. The conversation was hard to miss since they were both shouting. You think you can just diss me like that? The guy yelled. I told you, Teo, it's over. You don't own me. I don't want to do this anymore. Let go of my arm. I'm going to church and you can't stop me. Now let go. She tried to pull her arm free. You got the hots for that choir boy, is that it? That's just stupid, she said. Now let go, she screamed at him. Hey, Mika, Taylor suddenly called brightly. Both Mika and Teo looked up at the beautiful girl as she walked toward them. Teo immediately dropped Mika's arm, not because he was afraid of the girl, but because the man behind her looked threatening. Relieved and grateful for the interruption, Mika smiled and rushed toward Taylor. Hi, Taylor. Taylor smiled and looked at the boy. Hi, I'm Taylor. Teo nodded. You're like Ricky Kino's kid sister, right? She laughed. I'm his daughter. So are you two coming up to the big first youth meeting of the Hupwood Chapel? Yes, Mika said quickly. No, I got stuff to do, Teo said. Aw, that's a shame, Taylor replied. They're going to have some great snacks and some music and play some games and stuff. It's better than sitting around doing nothing. Teo looked the girl over. She was simply stunning. Beautiful face, long, wavy, dark hair, nice mouth, tight body. He looked her up and down, and he wasn't being discreet about it. And Agent Wyatt's eyes narrowed and his stance tensed. And Teo glanced up at the man, then back at Taylor. No thanks. Maybe next time, he said casually. He looked at Mika. See ya, Meeks. We ain't finished. Yes, we are, she said back as she watched him walk away. Taylor linked her arm in Mika's. Come on, let's go see who else is here. Mika walked along with her. So, is that your boyfriend? Taylor asked. Used to be, up to about 10 minutes ago. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I broke up with him. Oh, well, do you want to talk about it? Mika shrugged. So why'd you break up with him? Mika sighed. It's personal. Okay, I get it. I just thought you might want to talk about it. He's just too, I don't know. It's personal. She glanced at the agent next to Taylor. They walked up the steps to the church, and Taylor finally understood. She wanted to talk, but not in front of Agent Wyatt. Excuse me. We're pretty early, Taylor said. Agent Wyatt is leaving, and we could sit out here on the steps and talk if you want. No, you can't, Agent Wyatt said quickly. Both girls looked up at the agent. Taylor, you know I have to deliver you safely to your brother before I can leave. If he wants to allow you to come back out here, fine. But I won't recommend it, and he'll follow my advice. If you ladies want to talk privately, you can go into one of the classrooms. Taylor sighed. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, Agent Wyatt. No problem. He held the door open for them, and they headed in. They found young Eric in the chapel with Logan and JoJo and Reverend Clark's grandnephew, Patrick Barnes, setting up for the meeting. Agent Wyatt spoke briefly to Eric and turned Taylor's care over to her brother and took his leave. Young Eric smiled at both girls. Well, you two are looking pretty glum, Taylor sighed. So, since Agent Wyatt has already told you to not let us go back out, where do you want us to go to talk? How about that first classroom just past Reverend Clark's office? Taylor nodded. Okay, that's where we'll be. The girls headed to the classroom, but instead of sitting in the chairs, they sat on the floor in the far corner. Taylor smiled at Mika. She was so pretty. She was much taller than Taylor, probably by about 5 inches. She was slim, and she had allowed her black hair to be natural, so it was thick and curly, and it came to her shoulders. Her dark complexion was clear and smooth. She wore only a little bit of makeup, and Taylor thought she could be a model. So, so sorry. It's early in the morning. Makes my throat all clogged up. So what's up with how you aren't allowed to go where you want? Mika asked. Oh, well, it didn't used to be like that so much, but this past year, someone tried to kidnap me twice. Once off the beach behind my grandparents' home and once from school. And that time they almost made it, and they drugged me and they put me in a van, but Gabe chased the van down and got me back. Oh, yeah, I remember something about that. He, killed people, right? Taylor nodded. Yeah, and he got shot, and he got stabbed, and he almost died. It was a hard time. So anyway, Dad's not ready to let me be a normal kid anymore. Well, I don't blame him. Taylor smiled. So we have about 30 minutes. Tell me about your boyfriend. She shrugged. Teo's been my boyfriend for a year and 3 months. I thought I was so lucky to have him because he's really popular at school. Taylor nodded. Well, he's really cute. Yeah, but that ain't all it's cracked up to be. All this time, I kind of pretended that I didn't know or I didn't care about the stuff he's all into, but I'm starting to see things different now. Different? Yeah, because, I found Jesus. Listen, Taylor, a few weeks ago, right before Christmas, while I was listening to Mr. Adams sing, Mr. Adams? You mean Logan? Mika nodded. Yeah, the other kids call him Mr. Adams. Anyway, when he was singing, I felt I don't even know how to say it. I mean, I felt Jesus in my heart. God, that sounds so weird. but it's like I could feel him. He made me feel so happy, but he also made me feel like I wanted to change my life. Like I wanted to do stuff right. Does that sound totally cray? Taylor smiled and shook her head. That's not crazy at all. That's what Jesus does. He fills us with his spirit, and we begin to realize that we might not be able to see him right now, but he's real. And you can actually feel his Holy Spirit. It makes you want to be holy like Jesus and obey his commandments. Because we begin to realize that the rules of God, the rules that God gives us are for our own good. And living by the rules makes you feel really happy and brings you closer to Jesus. So, yeah, I get it. Tamika nodded, her eyes opening wide with excitement. Exactly. And that is exactly how I feel. I mean, this Christmas with my mom, I got my act together. I cleaned up the apartment. I got her a gift. I spent time with her, and I swear, Taylor, it was the best Christmas ever. I realized how much I love my mom, and I told her about how much I love the feeling I get when I come to church, and she said she just might come with me. Oh, very cool, Mika, Taylor said, as her eyes teared up a bit. So, Teo, he doesn't feel the same way, I guess? Is that a big problem? Mika shrugged. Well, that's part of it, but it's not the worst part. You see, so, like, before I started coming to church, I didn't think much about what Teo was doing. What was he doing? He gets drugs from this man called T-Bone, who was Maury's mom's boyfriend. Teo sells the stuff at school and to anyone who comes to him to buy it. I don't do that stuff, but I sort of ignored what Teo was doing because he's so cute and he has clout. But I'm not interested in that anymore. Well, I don't blame you, Mika. That's dangerous stuff. I know. So even though Ms. Meeks isn't there anymore, her boyfriend keeps coming around, Taylor asked. Well, he didn't for almost a week because, he got arrested when he tried to shoot your dad. But they let him right out. They always let him out. I don't know why he always gets out. And as soon as he got out, he brought more drugs to Teo. So you broke up with him because you don't want to be around all that? That's a good thing, Mika. Yeah, but that's not exactly the only reason. You see, this past year, I didn't know Jesus, right? And me and Teo, we did it all the time. Taylor took a minute to decipher. Oh, you mean you guys were having sex? She nodded. Girl, you are so innocent. But yeah, right. But then after Jesus came into my heart, I wanted to stop that and live the way Jesus wants us to live. But Teo wasn't down with that. And I wanted him to stay my boyfriend, but no more messing around. Taylor sighed. He said if I wanted him to be my boyfriend, then we were going to keep on the way things were, and I didn't know what to say. It was like I couldn't think of the right words to make him understand. So then, he got me to let him come over to chill. And then when he tried to start stuff, I told him no, but he forced me. Oh, Mika, Taylor said. That's rape. You know that's rape, right? She nodded. Yeah, but I shouldn't have let him come over, so it was my fault too. So I decided, okay, I'm going to break up with him because I realize I don't have any feelings for him. I mean, he's cute, but that's all he's got going for him. He's a criminal. He didn't even care that he forced me. He thought it was funny. He actually laughed about it. So I broke up with him, but he says it's not over. Taylor nodded. I heard him say that. So what are you going to do? I don't know. I'm afraid that he's not going to just try to seduce me now. I'm afraid he might actually rape me for real. It was really rape the first time he forced you, Mika. She shrugged, and Taylor sighed because she was out of her league. Mika, We need to tell someone. No. If Teo found out I told someone, he'd probably kill me. I mean, for real, kill me. Well, does he have a gun? Well, I haven't seen a gun, but he doesn't need a gun to kill me. He's strong, and he's tricky, and he does have a knife and uses it. Taylor nodded. So, what if I just talk to my dad or my brother, just to see what could be done to keep you safe? I mean, I'll get my dad or brother to promise to not tell the police and just ask what can be done to help you stay safe. Would you let me do that? I don't know. Well, like tonight, after the youth meeting, we can walk you home. We can get you some pepper spray. We can get you a camera to wear so that we can see what's happening and have evidence to put him in jail. You can do all that? Oh, that's just off the top of my head. There's probably a lot more that we can do that I don't know about. And Mika, one more thing. You can start taking self-defense courses. Oh, I can't afford that. Well, you won't be charged as long as you come to class and really put some effort in. Mika sighed and looked closely at Taylor. You do all that stuff, right? Taylor nodded. Yeah, I'm a black belt. That is extra fire, Taylor. She smiled. Thanks. So, Mika, you're a junior, right? Yes. How old are you? I'm 16. So, you know you're a hit, right? I mean, you trended when you sang on the Sunday before Christmas. She nodded. I don't know about a hit, but all the comments online were pretty lit. Well, that should tell you, Mika, that you have a lot going for you. So that means we got to keep you safe, and you got to not let Teo mess you up and mess up your life because you have something good going. Mika nodded. So how do you spell Teo? Is it like it sounds? T-A-Y-O? Or is Teo even his real name? Or is that just a nickname? Well, his name is Mateo. She spelled it for her. M-A-T-T-E-O. Last name? Taylor asked. Mateo Peavy. Why? Taylor nodded. Because my dad will probably want to run his name and see if he has a record. Oh, he can do that? Taylor smiled. Ameritech can do pretty much anything. And my dad is very close friends with the man who runs Ameritech. And my Uncle Joey will one day own the company, so we kind of have an in. You guys are bad powerful. Well, our power comes from God, Mika. And you have the same power. Both girls looked up when the door opened. Young Eric poked his head in. Hello there, ladies. You guys okay? Taylor stood. We're good. Well, a bunch of kids are arriving for the meeting, and many of them have asked if you were here, and I mean both of you. Mika smiled. Really? Yes, ma'am. There's people here that have never been here before, and they came to see that star girl singer. And Taylor. He grinned. And me, too. I bet, Taylor said with a giggle. Do I look okay? Mika asked. You look fantastic, young Eric assured her. You two come on out. Jordan just arrived, and I need to go see my baby. He turned and hurried away to find his girl. Taylor and Mika giggled. They started out. I still can't believe I'm talking to Taylor Kino, sister of Eric Kino III. He is totally hot. Taylor grinned. He's a really good guy. New scene. It is still January 8th. It is still Wednesday evening. And we're still at the Hopewood Chapel. The meeting began inside the chapel. Logan Adams, along with his drummer, got everyone revved up and jumping with the requested praise to elevation worship. JoJo Adams prayed over the group of kids that ranged from age 12 to 19. Patrick Barnes, Reverend Clark's 27-year-old grandnephew, came to the front of the group next. Neither Logan nor JoJo nor Patrick went to the podium. Instead, they stood on the floor in front of the first pew. Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Clark's grandnephew. My name is Patrick Barnes, and most of the kids call me Pastor Pat. I came down to visit my uncle and meet him for the first time this Christmas. Long story, which most of you probably know if you were at church last Sunday. I'm actually a junior pastor at another church up north, but your church here has so intrigued me that I decided to stick around for a while. He smiled and looked over the group of about 100 kids. You are an awesome group of kids. You may not realize it, but you have a light about you, and I think you're about to accomplish some pretty amazing things. He nodded and walked back and forth a bit. So, we won't always meet in the chapel. This is just a get started kind of thing. Tonight, after some announcements, we're going to divide up. Ages 15 through 19 will stay in here, and ages 12 to 14 will head down into the community room. But first, let me tell you what JoJo and Logan and I have planned. You might have noticed that there is construction going on next door at what used to be a motel. That is going to be a new youth ministry center for our church. They're building a gym that will also double as an auditorium. He stopped and smiled as it sunk into the kids' minds. Yeah, so we're going to form a church basketball league. We're going to have some stage shows and some dances. We're going to have workshops and classes, and we're going to do it all in a manner that exemplifies how to be a Christian teenager. We're going to be known as a group of kids who do good things, amazing things. We're going to take a page from a young duo that I know many of you have followed on social media, the Gabe and Taylor dynamic duo. Taylor, will you stand for just a second so everyone knows who you are? Taylor stood and smiled at the group. So let me just tell you what I know you all really want to know, she said with a smile. Gabe is coming into town this weekend. He's going to try to get over here to see you all on some youth nights. I'm pretty sure he's going to make it next Wednesday, so come and hear his message for you. He will be at church this Sunday. Pastor Pat nodded. Awesome, Taylor, thank you. As I was saying, we're going to take a page or two from his and Taylor's website. We're going to make everyone in this area know that the kids here are a force for good. We'll do service projects. We'll help out the old folks and the younger kids. We'll make a difference, not only in our own lives, but in everyone's life that we come in contact with. And it's going to be awesome. And it's all going to go up on the Youth of Hopewood Chapel webpage. The group chatted excitedly, and Patrick called them to order. So, until we get the gym built, we'll make do the best we can. Logan is changing choir practice to Thursday evenings for now. So let's just talk about these guys a minute, he said as he gestured toward Logan and JoJo. We are very blessed to have these big names working with us. Logan Adams, who's getting ready to record his first album and that will drop this spring. He's going to want to do a few music videos, and he's going to need some awesome kids to help. And I think you guys would fit the bill. Also, his brother, USC's starred quarterback, who is showing us how to take a setback and turn it around. Not only is he going to help minister this church, but he's going to be working with kids all over the country to obtain their athletic goals. And also, we have the newest Hollywood star, Eric Keno III, with us tonight, and he has a little gift for you. Eric, come on up. Young Eric walked to the front. One could almost hear a collective sigh from the girls. Jordan smiled up at her guy. She didn't blame them. She had to sigh too. She sighed, remembering that this guy standing in front of the group was hers. He'd chosen her above all the girls who throw themselves at him on a daily basis. He would be her husband. He would be the father of her children. She didn't think she could be any happier, and he glanced at her and winked, and she blushed. He smiled at the group. Hello, everyone. So I've had a request from several of you to get you some tickets to my movie that just came out right before Christmas, The Resurrection of Elijah Beck. So I decided to do more than just get you some tickets. I thought, hey, let's have a party. So this coming Saturday, I've rented out an entire theater. There are several different times for the showings. Popcorn, other snacks, and drinks will be complimentary, as much as you want. Make sure you pick up a voucher from either Pastor Barnes, JoJo, Logan, or myself before you leave tonight. He looked out as a hand went up. Yes? So can we pick up one for other people in our family? Yes, you can, but don't overdo it. Be honest. Or if it's just for you and a friend or two, that's cool too. Will you be there? Another person asked. Possibly. Will Taylor be there? Eric frowned at the boy asking the question. No, she has other plans. Taylor glanced over at the guy who'd asked that question. She didn't know him, but thought maybe he looked familiar. She leaned over to Mika. Do you know that guy? She whispered. Mika nodded. Yeah, that's Teo's best friend. His name is Anthony. They just call him T. Why do you think he asked about me? She shrugged. Maybe he likes you. I don't even know him. Yeah, but you look good, Taylor, and you're famous, and that draws attention, you know? Taylor sighed. Oh, I know. It's the story of my life. Eric finished speaking and the group divided up. Mika moved up to join some of her friends from school. Many of them weren't from this neighborhood. The kids came from all over when they learned that Eric Kino will be in attendance. Excuse me. Taylor stayed where she was. She didn't have any real friends here. When she thought about it, she didn't have very many friends at all. At her own school, she really only had acquaintances. There wasn't anyone that she spent time with out of school. Not like Gabe had Peyton. She had Jordan, who was about to be her sister-in-law. She had Melody and Raylyn, who were dating her cousins. And Raylyn's sister Kaylee was pretty cool. Of course, Philip and Lyle, Melody's brothers, were friends, but they were guys. She sighed. She wasn't feeling sorry for herself, just realizing that her life was very much different than most girls her age. When someone came to sit next to her, she turned and smiled politely. It was the Anthony guy. What's up, Taylor? She nodded. Hello. I'm T. Nice to meet you, Taylor said, knowing it sounded lame. He chuckled. Well, just thirsty to touch. She frowned. I'm not sure what that means. He laughed. Wow, you are like out of touch. Her eyes narrowed. If you mean I speak real English, I guess you're right. He nodded. That's okay. I can dig it. He reached over and touched her hand. So, I know you got a boyfriend, but like, he's not around, right? What do you say, you and me, like, take a walk? Thanks, but no thanks. I'm trying to listen to what they're saying here. I'm thinking you should be listening too. Why say that? Because they're talking about the way a boy ought to talk to a girl. He shrugged. I know how to talk to a girl. She rolled her eyes. Let me just be upfront, T. I'm not interested. I have a boyfriend and I would never go for a walk or anywhere else with someone who's so disrespectful. Oh, I see. You want to be real? Okay, let's keep it real. I got Teo's back. Always. So you need to stay out of his and Mika's business. Got it. Well, T, Mika is my friend, and her business is my business, and you can't tell me what to do. Well, Taylor, this is a warning. You might want to pay attention. Well, T, you don't scare me. You should be scared. She stood to leave, and he grabbed her wrist. We got a problem here? Young Eric asked. Both Taylor and T turned to look at the fierce man. T immediately let go of her wrist, and Eric nodded. Good decision. He sighed. So what's going on? Nada, T answered flippantly. We was just having a little talk. Well, I heard you tell her to be scared, which means you're the one who should be scared. I was just messing around. Eric sighed. Listen, you're welcome to come here and participate. You may not put your hands on my sister, though. Not ever. If you do, you'll be escorted off the property. Are we clear? Sure, no prob. She's overrated anyway. He rose. I'm out. Taylor started to speak, but young Eric held up his hand as he pulled out his phone. What you got, 3? Joey said, jokingly using Jordan's pet name for his nephew. Uncle Joey, do we have security on the church property right now? Yes, I believe Jeff put them outside. Why? There's a guy leaving the church. He tried to threaten Taylor in some way. I don't know the whole story yet, but I think we're going to want to know where he lives, etc. Description, please. Eric gave him a full description. Taylor whispered to him. His name is Anthony. Goes by T, Eric added. Copy that. Back shortly. Eric turned to Taylor. We need to talk. Taylor's lip trembled. But not now. I have to speak with people and give out tickets, so go sit with Jordan, please, so I don't have to worry about you. Are you mad? At you? Not at all. At that guy? Absolutely. It will take me a few minutes to calm down. Okay, but just so you know, Mika is in danger, and I intend to walk her home after the meeting. Yeah, well, we'll just have to see about that. I will see her home, Eric. You can come along, but I promised to keep her safe. What is she in danger of? Well, it's a long story, and you just said that you don't have time. He nodded and placed his hand on her shoulder. Okay, Tay, we'll take care of it, and we'll make sure she gets home safely. Thank you. You're welcome. Go sit with Jordan. While the older kids were being schooled in the best way to speak to the opposite sex, the kids downstairs were being primed to do great things. JoJo ushered them down to the community room. They took seats in folding chairs placed in a giant circle. There were about 35 kids, JoJo estimated, most of whom he'd never seen before. He smiled at them. He greeted every single one of them. He shook hands with them and directed them to take a seat. And once they were seated, he looked around the giant circle for several seconds, silently asking God to help him to help them. He then nodded and smiled. What? Are you trying to figure out what to say to us? A boy quipped. The others laughed and JoJo smiled. Well, a few of you know me personally. Daniel Davis, can you tell them what I was doing? Daniel's face turned a little pink for being called on in such a large group of kids. Still, he nodded. Yes, sir. JoJo prodded him. Go ahead. What was I doing? You were praying over us. JoJo smiled. That's right. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is JoJo Adams. Just to give you perspective, Logan upstairs is my brother. Young Eric Kino III and his sister Taylor are my cousins. My father's younger brother is Joey Adams, who is my uncle. The same Joey Adams who did some movies with Ricky Kino and who fought in and won a bunch of Kino challenges and now helps run Ameritech Security. Ricky Kino is my uncle. His wife, Brianna Adams Kino, is my aunt. My father is Mark Adams. He's an attorney and also a Kino Challenge champion. My mother is Bella Adams, and to me, she's the best mom in the world. And I have a little sister, Emily, who is 4. Dr. Juneflower Kino Wallace is my father's little sister, and she is my aunt. And her husband, Cameron Wallace, my uncle, is a jet. What's a jet? He's like Special Forces. My Uncle Joey is also a jet. My grandfather is Grandmaster Eric Kino. My grandmother is Shelley Kino, who was a MARC champion way back in the day, and I was the USC quarterback for the past 3 years. But I was put out with a shoulder injury. I was going to go pro, but that's over, and so now I get to talk to young people like yourselves, and that, to me, is a great privilege. He drew a deep breath and smiled. So there's a lot of kids here, which is awesome, and I was praying over you for a moment. So why do you think I was doing that? 'Cause we need all the prayers we can get, Lyle Keith jested. Well, that is true about all of us, but I was praying over you because this group, you kids right here, you are so much more important than you think. Now, what I want you to do right now is go around the circle and count off so I know exactly how many kids we have today. He turned to Daniel Davis, who sat on his right. Dan, you're number 1. He pointed to Jeremy Davis. 2, Jeremy said. JoJo waited for them to finish. There turned out to be 42 kids. It was a diverse group. Each kid was unique. There seemed to be a few more boys than girls, which was odd, but cool. JoJo nodded. Okay, 42. Wow, that's more than I thought. Awesome. So next, I want you to go around and introduce yourself. Give us your name, your age, what school you attend, or if you're homeschooled. And if you'd like, tell us a little something about yourself. I mean, like, hey, I'm JoJo Adams. I'm 14. I go to Newport High School, and I like to play football. Or Brianna Adams. I'm 12, and I'm into drama. Got it? He nodded and turned to his left this time and gestured to a pretty girl. Let's start with you. She immediately blushed. Oh, okay. Do we have to stand up? No, unless you want to stand. Either way is cool with me. She stayed in her seat. Okay, well, I'm Ava. I'm 13. I go to Huntington Middle School, and I like to surf. JoJo nodded. Awesome. Good job. Next. They went around the entire circle. JoJo listened intently, trying to pick up on nuances. Who was shy? Who was definitely not shy? Who was a leader? Who had some self-esteem issues? As they went around, he realized he'd like to have a private conversation with every single one of them. When the last one finished, which was Daniel Davis, JoJo smiled. And what Daniel didn't tell you is that today is actually his 13th birthday. So happy birthday, Dan. Daniel's mom provided the giant birthday cake that's sitting over there on the counter, and we'll dive into that later. You'll notice when we do that his brother, Jeremy's name is also on the cake, and that's because his birthday is in 2 days, on the 10th. So we're going to sing to them later. Do we have any more birthdays that have recently happened or will happen this week? No? Okay, well, if anyone has a birthday coming up, please let me know, and we'll make it a tradition to celebrate with you on Wednesday nights. JoJo looked around. Just full disclosure, I personally know 3 of the kids here. Daniel here and his brother Jeremy are like family to me. Their father is a very good friend of our family, and I love these guys like they're my own little brothers. And Lyle Keith, the soon-to-be Oakview High School varsity QB over there, is the brother of my brother's girlfriend, and their family's very close to our family too. And I love him like a brother. So what that means is not that Dan and Jeremy and Lyle are special. It actually means I expect a lot from them. You got it, guys? The 3 boys laughed. Yes, sir, JoJo, sir, Daniel said. Good. Now, someone tell me, how does it make you feel to be in this younger group separate from the older kids upstairs? When no one answered, he smiled. Come on now, be honest. How do you feel about it? There is no wrong answer. I just want to gauge how you're feeling about it. JoJo glanced at Lyle and nodded. And Lyle sat up straight. Well, to be honest, it makes me feel like, man, I missed the cutoff by 4 months, 'cause I'll be 15 May 5th. And you'd rather be with the older kids? He shrugged. I guess. Why? Well, I'm not sure. It feels like, it makes us feel like we're not as important. Or like, we have to sit at the kids' table at Thanksgiving. JoJo laughed. Good description. And thank you for being so honest, Lyle. And thanks for speaking up, because being a good quarterback means being a good leader. So point for you. Just one, Lyle equipped. The group chuckled. JoJo looked around, his eyes shining. So, listen up, guys, because what I'm about to say is important. This group is ultra special. I'm not sure why yet. I was hurt in that last season game, and poof, just like that, my pro career was gone. But that wasn't bad luck. That was God working out his plan for me. I'm supposed to be right here working with you kids. You younger ones are actually more important than the ones upstairs in some ways, because they've already passed this time when how you conduct yourself can make or break you. They're working on other things. Right now, what they're doing is learning the best way to speak to someone of the opposite sex, how to talk to a girl respectfully, how to talk to a boy and remain true to yourself. But us down here, we're about to learn that you, as young people, can make a huge difference. You're about to learn how to work a room, how to be a leader, even if you're a little shy, and not only be a leader, but how to influence a whole nation. A lot like Gabe Tanner did, though he was older than you. You guys are so important. And if Reverend Clark asked me to change up and work with the older kids instead, I would respectfully ask to stay here with you, because we are about to light this place up. He smiled. In my family, we are very competitive. Go figure. Everything gets turned into a competition, and we don't hold back. Even if it's just a backyard volleyball game, we go at it full force. So we're going to turn this into a competition of sorts. Can this younger group down here outdo, shine brighter, be more dynamic than the ones upstairs? I think you absolutely can. So let's begin with a few rules. We can be competitive, but we cannot be bad sports. That's the rule in our family. We play with honor. No anger, no temper. You know our whole family are martial artists, and Kino Martial Arts is big on integrity and honor. It's core. And that's the way our youth group here, the under 15s, that's the way we will operate, with honor. So, are you a black belt? One of the boys asked. JoJo nodded. I'm a 3rd degree black belt. Oh, cool. Will you show us some stuff? One day. Right now, I'm rehabbing my shoulder. I should be back in business by March. And then, if you want, we'll do a demo for you guys. The boys nodded. Anyway, what I was getting at is this. We are at this church on a Wednesday evening because we are Christians. We are followers of Jesus Christ, and we need to learn how to go about our everyday lives being holy and exemplary and living in a way that shows the world that Christians are not hypocrites. You know, that's how a lot of people think of Christians. They think the Christians go to church on Sunday and act all good and stuff, but then they go back to school and act like everyone else. They curse, they lie, they make fun of someone, they cheat on a test, they diss people. Well, I want this group to be different. I want us to always have our faith foremost in our minds. I want us to live in a way that the Holy Spirit will dwell in us always and change our hearts and our actions. Because setting a good example for others and living in love and kindness and righteousness, yet being strong and fearless, that is how Jesus would have us live. That example is how we bring others into the fold to be believers in Jesus themselves. That saves them. That saves them from a life of darkness and pain and sadness. Now, doing this is not always an easy thing to do. Peer pressure and not wanting to stand out or be made fun of, it keeps us from really living what we believe. And over the course of this year, we're going to come to understand more deeply what we actually believe as followers of Christ. So what we're going to work on tonight is how to enter a room, how to work a room, and how to have confidence in yourself so that others are not dictating what you should do or say, but you are influencing them instead. Now, I'm going to show you how to enter a room full of people and how to work the room and how to make a difference. And when the older kids join us later, you're going to practice on them. Ooh, a few of the girls murmured. JoJo smiled. It doesn't matter that you're younger. You can still shine brighter. Look at David in the Bible. He was just a kid. All his older brothers were warriors, but it was young David, a boy left behind to tend the sheep. It was him who slew Goliath. It was him who became king of Israel, and it was him who was a prominent figure in the Bible. Where did he get his strength? JoJo nodded at the mumbled answer. That's right. He got it from God, the same God that is with you guys right now. The same God who will be with you as you learn to enter a room with strength and light and love emanating from your very being. Okay, let's get to it. Everybody on your feet. New scene. Pastor Patrick Barnes dismissed the group and then Pastor Patrick Barnes dismissed the group and had them head downstairs for refreshments and birthday cake. Some immediately hit the restroom. Others headed quickly downstairs. Bristol headed into the church office, and Melody saw her and stuck her head in. Hey, Bristol, you're not going to go down and have some cake? Bristol smiled at her friend. Hey, Melody, I was just grabbing my purse, and I wanted to see if I need to touch up my makeup or anything. Melody looked her friend over. Bristol was a pretty girl. She was Filipino. If one were to Google hot Filipino girls, Bristol's picture would come up. But her ex-boyfriend, Benoit Cruz, had done a number on her, and she was very unaware of her own beauty. He'd said she was ugly because he had no appreciation for the beautiful girls of his own culture. Of course, it didn't help that her clothes were drab and old-fashioned. Melody had a feeling that Bristol shopped at the local Goodwill. Melody herself had done that many times, but sweet Bristol really had no sense of style. She usually wore old skirts with a blouse or black yoga pants with a t-shirt, which was what she had on tonight. Melody smiled at Bristol and came closer. I didn't even realize you were wearing makeup. You're so pretty just naturally. Bristol rolled her eyes. Right. Well, I'm wearing some mascara and some stuff to keep the shine off and a little lip gloss. And that's perfect. So, Bristol, why the sudden interest in makeup? Bristol looked down and shrugged her shoulders. I don't know. I have a new job. I represent the church. I'm starting school next week and nothing. Bristol, and what? Bristol shook her head. Nothing really, but like... She stopped again. Melody could see her face turning pink. Come on, Bristol, you can tell me. I'm your friend, right? Bristol nodded. So, do you like someone? Bristol smiled. Maybe. Melody smiled. Really? Okay, so that's awesome. Who is it? Bristol shook her head. I'm not going to say right now. Is it Ryder? Melody asked immediately, because 19-year-old Ryder was hard for any girl to pass up. He had been homeless up until a few days before Christmas. He was now living at Logan's house while he was getting his life in order. Once he'd cleaned up, it was amazing how good he looked. Bristol shook her head. Oh, no, it's not Ryder, though he is very cute. Mel, just get it through your head that I'm not going to tell you right now. Let me just take this slow, okay? Melody nodded her head and thought, okay, but whoever it is, Bristol, let me help you. Help me how? Melody hoped she wasn't about to upset her. Well, I mean, let's go shopping and get some new clothes. You need some new clothes to wear to school, right? Bristol sighed. It would be nice, but I can't afford anything right now. Well, I can. I'm rolling in dough. The Kinos pay me well, and I've been meaning to buy some new jeans and some cute shirts. Come with me, and I'll treat you. I can't let you do that. Why not? Am I your friend or not? I don't mean to act like you're a charity case or anything, but let me do this. I haven't been much of a friend to you. I've been so busy with Logan. Let's do this. Let's go out and get in style. Bristol bit her lip as she thought, and then finally smiled. Okay, Melody, let's do this. But I have to warn you, I don't know much about how to get in style. Oh, that's okay, because I don't either, but I'm learning from Jordan and Taylor. Maybe I'll bring them along. Bristol smiled. Well, that would be fun. Melody grinned because Bristol took the bait. Yeah, it would. Girls' day out shopping. Oh, this is going to be great. Well, come on, Mel. Let's go down and sing happy birthday to the Davis brothers. They're so adorable. Melody nodded. They really are so cute. In a few years, they won't be able to fight the girls off. And that is the end of chapter 1.